All right.
All right, so the Nintendo Direct happened at the ass end of yesterday, a couple days ago morning. Was way too early. 6 a.m. Pacific.
Lol.
But
I waited and watched a bunch of trailers.
Yeah, what it did, watching it live was much better, though, because what I did is the end of that presentation, I talked to chat for 10 minutes, then I sprinted to the house, snuck into the bedroom, and stole Paige's phone. Then I went downstairs and turned the internet off to every device that could connect to it. And then said, you got to get up. You got to go stream now. And she went, what? Why? And I said, the Nintendo Direct was something. And she said, what is it? And I said, it's all things to all people. Get over to the office and stream a reaction. No, I will not give you your phone back until she promised to not look at it.
Really? Wow.
You will create React content.
God damn. Okay. Well, there was a lot there. Yeah, I would say that, Nintendo dropping a console announcement with 60 games, I think, were dropped.
It's a lot.
Was pretty impressive.
It's a lot.
And it sounds like everyone was super duper thrilled until the price dropped.
So yeah, let's talk about the price first.
Sure, because there's a whole lot of games. $450 USD, which turns into 600 Canadian.
629.
And
629 Canadian.
And $80 USD for games, which turns into $110 Canadian.
Now, this is really important. I want to say two things to our primarily American audience. There is a certain level of Schadenfreude, whatever, the German shit. Schadenfreude. Seeing Americans go, oh my God, $80 for a video game.
That's
welcome to fucking 2013 of my life.
That's the number we were screaming at a couple years ago.
Okay. And yes, I know relative value of the dollar, obviously, but it's just funny, right? And of note, and that was $450 as of the morning of the Direct, whereas 2 or 3 hours later, national economic policy changes came into play that could kick up the price of a Nintendo Switch 2 in the United States to approximately $650 to $700 at retail.
Now, I've seen people saying that this is not that like I've seen people say that like, oh, tariffs are not a part of this and that's a misunderstanding. I'm not an economist, so I can't get to the bottom of it, but I can say that that doesn't sound right to me, because when I see the extra story, which is Japan is getting a Japan only version of the Switch that's locked, that's way cheaper and locked to language, I go, well, that doesn't seem to be a thing that would not be affected by tariffs. Otherwise, why would they make that, right? So I saw a bunch of people go like, no, it's not related. I'm like, I don't know. It seems like it is.
Yeah,
but
the global economy is related to the price of things.
Yeah. So making
the economic times in which we live does affect the prices of things.
And I feel like a very clear, like, oh, don't worry. If you are Japanese and live here, you can buy it for a normal price, like option, kind of underlines that point, right?
Because of the nature of the back and forth on this, there's the conceivable possibility that at retail, in local dollars, a Switch 2 will cost the same in Canadian as it would in local dollars in the US, which is going to cause every Canadian town near the border to be flooded on June 5th with sudden American visitors going, hey man, you got those Switch 2s? And the answer will be no.
No. Yeah.
We don't actually.
Let's see. A return to region locking because of the policy is wild. I really thought we were over the best of it, but Yeah, and I've seen as well. Like I kind of saw the live Treehouse thing going for day 2 or so. Clicked it and I just saw like the chat just going. "Rrr." I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
Lower the price.
There are definitely enough people amongst this that are like, there's a point that I would have been upset at, but you're like, God fucking damn it! Of course they're going to slowly cook the pot up and cook the frog in the pot by turning it up point by point. This threshold has blown past people's ability to actually get the console and get the games.
Yeah,
like so straight up, it is a like clear like no, I cannot participate.
So it's this thing. It's like, am I going to sit here and go, the political realities of our time mean that Nintendo has to charge this much? I'm saying, of course, Nintendo saw increased costs and went, I bet we could juice it just a little bit extra, you know, make a little cut, you know, ride this out. And we transfer, you know, manufacturing to Vietnam to dodge some of these costs. And whoops, that was actually a really fucking terrible idea. Holy shit.
All of a sudden.
Wow. Holy fucking shit.
All of a sudden, that Asus Microsoft Game Pass box maybe seems like it has a place,
right? But yeah, no, you can't possibly ignore the economic realities of our time in various nations as a result of the increased prices of these things. And I genuinely believe that 450 figure is going to be the MSRP from Nintendo to Best Buy USA. I don't think Best Buy USA, the people that would have to pay the increased cost to import, are going to eat a fucking 40% surcharge on an imported electronic and sell it below cost.
I think I saw
consumers.
I saw a bunch of people making memes that are just like Nintendo like roping themselves while Sony and Microsoft sit on the side and stay winning, or PC stay winning or so. And I'm like, you fucking idiots.
These pieces are all built in the same countries.
If a new PlayStation 6, if we were discussing a PlayStation 6 announcement, you don't think it would be even more insane? You don't get that this is all really relative?
Right now? You know who is sweating their ass off right now? Do you remember 2 years ago when we were told the next Xbox is going to be the most powerful console ever created in the history of the medium, i.e. the most expensive PC in a box ever released. So if they were planning to send that out at $600 or $700, that thing's gonna cost $1,200 fucking dollars.
That's what
They're fucking freaking out.
Like the level of stupidity to just be like, it's just Nintendo. It's like no. Like $699. Right back in the day was that wild number when that was the company just deciding its price point. Throw on the cost of a fucking new console with that level of like greed on it, while also doing tariff damage.
Yeah, because we had to
you're
keep
flying
the
above
$1,000.
$1,000.
So we just throw the cost on plus the new cost the investors want.
Like it's insane. So yeah. So
if you can't afford this, we'll be playing these games on stream, so don't worry about it.
But just that is across the globe, you know?
Just switch to PC gaming. What, you think the fucking semiconductors in a fucking NVIDIA card are going to be safe from worldwide economic calamity?
Well,
you fucking insane.
Well, you switch to the thing you currently have. Do you currently own it? You know,
a buddy of mine in Discord just like an hour ago said it's called the Switch 2 because you switched to a more affordable hobby.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, with the fucking NVIDIA shit and on top of it. Yeah, you know, it's anyway, saving all of that for the Treehouse post direct thing, I guess was probably the right move, because like in the thing themselves, they're like, we're currently eyeing the tariff situation and we'll let you know because we don't fucking know how this is going to shake out. Anyway,
nobody foresaw this level of tariff, so it was difficult to plan. I bet that if they knew these numbers were coming, we would have looked at a different base price. And honestly, if they knew this was coming a couple years ago, we would have looked at a different base hardware.
Exactly, right? Nintendo's in an extra weird place because they always sit in the pocket, never dropping their prices, but also coming in below the level of the other competition to be like, nah, we're doing our own thing, and, you know, we can be a little bit more affordable, but we're going to offer you a little bit less, and you're just going to buy it because you know the characters you want to see. You know, and like here, that's coming in. They're coming in first and hot on this new world we live in. Just who knows how things will go, but if they are the way they are now, any new releases and consoles and hardware announcements will follow suit.
My main thing is that yelling at Nintendo to drop the price is cathartic and feels good, but ultimately useless because part of the realities of why they set those prices have nothing to do with them. Some of them is they want the money and they don't drop their prices because they want the money, but the world changed around them.
Keep your eyes
very suddenly, actually.
Keep your eyes on anything else from Japan that you buy and see how that goes. And yeah, and then also this kind of just is like, well, Toby Fox is out here being nuts, you know, like he just doesn't care.
Of course he is. Like, of course he is.
Yeah, just that's what that is, you know. Okay, so in terms of the actual thing, well, let's start with the exciting, the Duskbloods. Motherfucker,
the one that caused everyone to become Tails from the seminal work Tails Gets Trolled.
I mean, just fine. You don't want to make Bloodborne? Well, do it fucking so.
How about I smudge the fucking name off it and just write it in with marker?
Oh man, the just
crazy.
Sony sitting in the cuck chair while Nintendo and FromSoft as the wife are like, "Are you sure it's okay?" You know, just it is.
As Sony desperately tries to find the key to its chastity belt.
I mean...
Oh, no, I think I threw it out with those papers.
So I will say this is a bit of a Night Rain situation, though, because the scope seems to be smaller than we might think.
Yeah, it's a player versus an environment multiplayer game,
which, like Night Rain, is you know, I'm thinking of as well the other whatever the mashmack mode of you know the mecha breakdown I just played, but yeah, what you're getting there is you're getting, okay, so that trailer starts off with the hands and the thing, and you're like, FromSoft voice acting, FromSoft direction, sure enough, and you're like, cool, it's vampires, and that's a dinosaur, and that's a jetpack, and those are guns. My brain, even as I speak to you right now, keeps calling it the Pale Bloods.
I kept calling it Duskborn for an entire day, despite the fact that that's not the name of the game.
I can't stop thinking Pale Bloods. It's just locked in, you know? But yeah, if this is in fact going to be a game that is mainly about going into multiplayer sessions with up to 8 players, and then your 2 teams of 8 while there's a boss to deal with and you can deal with each other as well, it's going to be much smaller in scope. It's not going to be a big, large lore mise-en-scène to the full nth degree, you know, Souls entry. It's going to be one of these kind of side things. But I'm sure, you know, Nintendo was proper happy to have that exist, and I kind of wonder, is this being funded like Bayo was in the back, you know, to where?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where
easy.
they just said,
no question,
make us our own Bloodborne.
Or else it would be on everything.
We'll see.
Or else it would be on everything.
Yeah, but like I just know that I'm like timed exclusives sometimes happen, whatever. But if that's Nintendo just going like do what they won't do, then sure. It's still like would not fully scratch the itch as a proper full ass FromSoft Souls entry.
Sure, but hey man, I'll take it. It'll probably be cool.
Yeah. And I think that's why the releases that we've seen from them, it's like, oh, that's why they can put out this many, is because like they're going into smaller, you know, multiplayer focused releases, you know.
Also, I feel like there's a Japanese man out in Osaka working at Capcom, watching this trailer, going, "Yo, what the fuck? People love this dinosaur shit, but they don't show up for Exoprimal.
PvP.
It's the same thing.
PV dinosaurs, god damn it. We did it first.
What is it different because it's from software? What, people like Capcom games? You don't get it, man.
You see that fucking jetpack? We had a jetpack.
I see that jetpack.
We had a jetpack. Anyway, so that's cool. Mario Kart World. As I was
watched the treehouse shit this morning.
Oh yeah.
It's whoa.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be fucking good.
Okay.
It's gonna be good Mario Kart game.
Because I had to say, like, as I was watching the trailer, like the first half of it, I had that thing where I was like, kind of like the last ones. I'm like, yeah, I loved me some Mario Kart. I enjoyed this series thoroughly back in the day, but I think it's kind of passed me by. It'll definitely continue to be something that if it's on at a friend's place and it's going on, I'll be down for it. Or hell, I'll be down to throw it on if people are over. But in terms of like actively going in, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of just a little over it.
Bro, they made Burnout Paradise into a Mario Kart game.
And then they swerved off the track and went, actually go and I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. When they just swerved off and went anywhere, I was like,
Bro, let me
that's
tell you,
pretty good.
Let me look at you in your eyes. Let me look at you in your ocular sockets. Are you ready? I have an almost 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Mario Kart World, best game ever made.
Yeah, sure.
Just straight up best game ever made.
It wasn't until I saw that part that I was interested. If it was like just another new update to the franchise, I was like, okay, yeah, we know, that's cool. But that certainly got an interest point there. And then what? Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah, sure, cool, run it.
That looks. I watched the preview of it this morning. Hey, guess what? It looks incredible.
Shout outs to the edit on Triple Q's channel. I think it's Red Faction Gorilla.
Yeah,
just
absolutely
breaking through the ground and throwing shit and just Donkey Kong is
great. Donkey
Kong is too strong for the planet. He's a threat. He's an existential threat.
Looks amazing.
Looks like what? 64. Going back in the day where, what a proper 3D Donkey Kong should have been. Looks cool. The Welcome Tour, which is bafflingly...
Miyamoto got his wish. Now that Reggie Fils-Aimé is gone
incredible.
And can't tell him to include Wii Sports,
shoutouts to
Miyamoto
Gene
can be like, no, they're going to buy the fucking demo.
Gene went and dug up the article where Reggie Fils-Aimé begged Miyamoto to make Wii Sports free, and he didn't want to because he did not believe that anything that they worked hard on should be given away for free. And it's like, what happened?
Boy, was Reggie right about that. Boy, oh my God.
Well, he convinced them because it's a new technology, and he thought like, oh, we need to convince people what this new thing is and give them an idea. And it's so crazy because I'm like, what happened to the Mario and Duck Hunt Nintendo?
That was like 50 years ago.
Yeah, and when people saw a game included with the Wii, they remembered that and went, that's cool.
I bet Miyamoto was pissed off about that in fucking 86.
Way back when.
This is fucking bullshit.
I distinctly remember how friends of mine and like family were like legit like, cool, there's this good game that it comes with, and then from there you can pick what else to get. You know, the attachment rate stress.
I remember buying a PlayStation and it didn't come with a game, and my parents were like, what the fuck?
I got a bunch of demo discs with my magazines, yeah. So this is a guide around the Switch, and it's going to
looks cool.
$80 USD?
No, it's like $20.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It should really be included. It's ridiculous that it's not.
Especially since it's like learn about the console,
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. The Astrobot thing was free.
If they just came out and said the game is free, but you have to pay the cost of the tariffs, then that would have been one thing. Yeah, specifically. Motherfucking Kirby Air Riders. And the moment it says director, I'm like, oh, you're hanging too long for it to be anyone else. right?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, why are they releasing Mario Kart World and then like 3 months later Air Riders? Isn't that some racing game overlap? And all I can think of is Sakurai was like, I will only work for you again if you let me make another Kirby Air Riders game.
Right? He got exactly what he wanted because he was ready to chill right into the sunset.
And they will allow him to make the Air Riders game, and as afterwards he will have his arms replaced with spikes and get right on to making the new Smash.
Well, at least he gets a chance to fucking just mentally reset, right, and come back at this thing. Because I hope that whatever Smash does next is a change, you know?
I think the change that Smash Brothers needs to make is to add 25 more characters.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so upsetting. We got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
Great, that looks good. Fine.
Sure. And Dusk X Drive, which is like cool. Wheelchair basketball looking like fucking, whatchamacallit, soccer cars.
Yeah.
All dope. I mean, Kirby Air Riders in particular, I just fucking shit's gonna be banger.
We've got Switch 2 versions of existing games.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of performance patches that have been announced.
Diamond X
for
Machina,
various games.
Titanic Scion looked rad as shit.
It did look good. I hope it doesn't have so much story in it because the Daemon X Machina story was terrible.
And my thought too, here's extra confirmation that like the Dusk Bloods, god damn it, is going to be a kind of, you know, side serving, is that they're properly porting Elden Ring as a whole to be like, here's your major single player adventure that you'd want.
By the way, to folks in the chat who are saying paid patches for the performance stuff, some games on the Switch 2 are going to get updated versions that have new stuff, and that's how they're going to convince people to pay for them. Many games are just going to get patched to just work better on the Switch 2. There's a list of them out right now, but there's more coming. No, it's a whole confusing mess.
But there's a bunch of those games you can transfer ownership over to the 2 and then just boot it on the 2.
And it should work better
without the paid upgrade, right? And then what did we see? Deltarune chapters 1 to fucking 4 on launch.
1, 2, 3, 4. Which I was waiting for my wife to see that announcement, and she took that announcement like a gun to her head because Deltarune 1 and 2, we were talking about this. Deltarune 1 and 2 were a million years ago. We lived in a different place, in a different house. We were not married. We did not have a child. So Deltarune Chapter 1 came out. You know what we did when Deltarune Chapter 1 came out?
2018 and 2021. God damn.
You know what we did when Deltarune Chapter 1 came out, Woolie? We went, okay, and ran down to the basement and started streaming like 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
You know what? And blew through it in a single fucking... maybe we were married for the second one, but I can't remember.
2021.
Probably. When Deltarune Chapter 2 came out, you know what we did? We went, okay, and ran down to the basement and fired it up and did the whole thing in one shot.
Holy shit. I didn't.
Now, Deltarune 3 and 4, we have to plan a whole week around this. We have to purge our social medias. We have to, like, it's like a fucking to-do.
Yeah, same here, you know, going through it with Punch Mob. I did not feel like Deltarune 1 was 6 years ago.
It was 20 years ago.
Holy shit. I mean, if that's the way you can make your Undertale follow-up piece by piece, that's cool.
And 4 to 7 will come later.
But the feeling that I did not have just now is the magic of this being released in chapters every 3 years, I guess. Right?
Well, so chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to come out on June 5th, and 5, 6, and 7 are going to be downloads, which means that what you will get is the same experience you had for every chapter of Deltarune is, hey, guess what, shithead, it's out. Or is out in 2 weeks or a month or what, like,
yeah,
just shadow dropping every single part of it.
and I get it, because obviously Undertale was a long, huge, in the making moment that you don't know how that's going to get received, you know? But now that you're in the shadow of that and everyone's looking, you can't go about it the same way, or you can, and then you get your little Silk Song drop in that montage. 2025, it was there. No one can say it wasn't. Enter the Gungeon 2 is 3D,
Bro. I had to switch from the US stream to the UK stream because it was really behind. It was like 5 seconds behind in audio, like the audio was desynced. So I switched over and just saw the giant Gungeon Bullet Man and the logo, and just went,
that's cool. That's cool.
like I squealed. I fucking squealed
That's an
like
art,
a little piggy.
that's an art style that can make the jump and still keep the charm, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Fucking love Enter the Gungeon, man.
I don't remember if I already knew this or forgot, but IO working on a 007 game sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see if it, has that element to it, where instead of just being like a first-person shooter or something like that, if it's much more spy-based.
Well, I mean, it's IO,
precise,
it's IO, so that makes perfect sense, right? Because the gadgets and the traps.
Exactly. The hope is that
the goofy shit. Just make a Hitman game and just fucking call it 007 and just have some of the objectives not be murder.
Well, I was gonna say, because like
that's it.
47 is just offing people left and right, and Bond is too, but he's got to be, like sleeping with them first and so on. So, you know what looks fucking dope? And
what's that?
Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
It does. It looks fucking great.
It looks super cool.
You know what doesn't look fucking dope? Nintendo deciding to empower you in your fucking weirdo controller bullshit with their Joy-Con and a mouse setup being built into their fucking console.
It's not my fault that the world finally caught up. Ooh,
disgusting.
Damn. Wow.
Disgusting.
Who knew? Me couldn't be. It's not like I'm prophetic or anything.
Also, the Joy-Cons have Hall effect sensors for the analog sticks.
Yeah, they lock in, and you don't have springs to fucking wear off, which is great. That should just become the standard. Boy, squinting and looking at that Street Fighter 6 default layout on one Joy-Con is insane. it's like okay, you've got 2 lights, 2 mediums, you got heavies up here, and then drive, impact, and parry, and then click R3 for DI, and
crazy.
Oh god,
ridiculous.
I really, really hope no one needs me to drive rush cancel any buttons. Just tiny little stick.
Pardon me.
But yeah, that's going to come with its own wacky switch modes. And then what else did we see there? Yeah, just ports of other stuff.
Yeah, there was a port of a game called Silk Song that was announced for this year, and then they just skipped past it like it wasn't important.
I think too as well, they made a point to say like, hey, look, we're getting Cyberpunk, we're getting Elden Ring, we're getting FF7, so real games are here, guys. We can do it. We're powerful enough, right? It's like anything current gen can show up here, so it'll be fine until the next gen gets jumped into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we're fucked.
So now that we've done our bit and skipped past it like the Nintendo presentation did it not feel like an act of ridiculous violence to throw a 3-second clip of Silk Song in the sizzle reel for the 2025 release date?
My brain filtered.
What?
My brain filtered it. I saw colors blur across the screen, and then I had a seizure and woke up, and the rest of it continued.
Like I looked at it, and like my eyes bugged out of my head, and before I could even speak, I was like, it was gone. Like, I know big. Yeah, this is here. Come on.
Like I thought I saw Silk Song, but it was just Randy Pitchford in a suit. And yucking it up.
And a bad toupee. And then Nintendo put out a tweet that said, hey, it's coming to the Switch 2 this year, 2025. And then the Team Cherry guys retweet it, but notably did not make any announcements or responses of their own. which I think is because Microsoft has to advertise it as a Game Pass game, which makes me think that this is maybe the worst deal anyone's ever taken.
I'm strongly considering starting a bit where I pretend this game does not exist from this point forward.
Yeah, even like you can stream it and just be like, it's weird. It's a shame Silksong never came out.
Like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Change the titles like of like the uploads to like Hollow Knight 2. Don't include words.
Is anyone else seeing this weird thing where the game title is just not showing up on Twitch? I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, so, and then, you know, a bunch of other stuff thrown in there and so on. But I think Metroid Prime 4 is a rad ass thing that we got to see a little bit more of earlier in the week as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, hey, new suit looks sick. Psychic powers for the whatever new gimmick to do things. Okay, sure, no problem, run it. I don't care. Like, whatever, you know, dumb new like accessory ability or
hey, you know what? I'll play a new Metroid game. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and since I've gotten Dread the other day, and that 2D and need is out of my system, I'm super game for some Primin. You know,
absolutely.
Let's yuck it up. Let's have some fun. Can't wait for fucking just essentially any of those physics puzzles where you from playing first-person puzzle games for the last 10 years are finally going to be like, ooh, Samus, slide the block and put the square into the square and then unlock the Chozo path. Did you put the star in the star? Cool. Anyway, cool stuff. Good music. All fine.
You see Nintendo deciding to reinvent Discord?
You know what, man? They're trying. They're giving it a shot when beforehand they were like, we pretend we do not see it.
So I'll tell you what, Woolie.
Fucking whatever.
I was watching that shit, and you know what I saw? I saw an incredible tool for content, is what I saw. Hey, Woolie, you want to play Mario Kart on stream together? Yeah, cool. All right, here's me on Woolie's stream in the corner and Woolie on Pat's stream in the corner.
With a terrible quality camera.
10 FPS feed ever.
The worst fucking, again, Discord filtering out the background level green screen bullshit happening, you know?
Hey, man.
But yeah, press the C button.
It's for the content.
Now, at least you can chat with friends and have shit happen now, as opposed to the past when it was like, okay, did you turn your keys at the same time?
I can't wait to load in and just like have the camera focused on some dude's fucking dong.
Oh, just spread cheeks, you know? Absolutely. Which, you know what? I'll take that if the trade-off was send each other your social insurance numbers and add those to your friend account.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, all right.
Somebody asked in the chat how long until someone spreads their asshole right into the camera. They've done that at Nintendo. They're testing it now. They're trying to figure out an algorithm to detect asshole.
How do we make sure? How do we catch it while the green screen is happening behind it?
Yeah.
And it has the auto noise filtering crisp tech as well. So
so it's an NVIDIA thing. So it's the stuff that we've been using on our cards every now and then. It's decent.
Yeah, but like when bad background shit starts going off, you also start sounding like shit as well, depending on how high pitched it is.
Also, we've discovered that the noise cancellation removes Paige's voice.
Oh,
from all recordings.
If it's trained to your voice, then yes. Okay, so the default setting. Interesting.
When I turn the NVIDIA thing on, if Paige is anywhere but sitting directly in front of this microphone, it just removes her completely.
Is she a vampire?
Something about her voice registers to technology as background noise to be ignored.
Like, ooh, filter that.
Yeah, no, you don't need. Oh no. Ooh.
Hey! Oh no, you can't even hear her saying hey in the background there. It's gone.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's crazy. No, people who watch the streams in which I had that on can vouch. Like she would be visible in the background and she would be being actively erased.
That's great. That's solid. Good bit. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much all there was to it, I suppose. I didn't check out much beyond the treehouse extras, though. Did they get into anything else interesting after the fact?
They showed off Donkey Kong. They showed off a lot of Mario Kart World. They showed off Metroid.
Okay.
Of special note for the GameCube games coming back. Oh,
yeah.
man,
Soul Calibur 2
everybody
GX.
in the whole world just losing their mind at Soul Calibur 2.
It's weird to see.
I'm glad.
That's really cool that that's included. As same for F-Zero GX. It's weird that Wind Waker is going to be there when there's an upgraded Wind Waker that
Not that you can play on the Switch. You can't.
came out the other day. that's a weird one, but
That's a Wii U game, man.
yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying, right? It's
They
just
should import that shit.
like if I wanted to go back, might as well just fucking do.
You know what
that
I
one.
really fucking think is genuinely incredible? They're releasing a special Nintendo Switch 2 GameCube controller so you can play your GameCube games. And then they were like, we should really put a fighting game on this GameCube backwards compatibility roster. Let's make sure that it's a fighting game that people want and will want to play. That's right. Soul Calibur 2 is a game that people are going to itch to play with their GameCube controller on their Nintendo Switch 2. And that's the only one that will ever show up. There is a fighting game that they technically own completely that they will never, ever put on that shit.
I wonder if they will concede that point eventually, because I think it's trapped behind glass and it's directly antithetical to selling copies of Ultimate. However,
I totally I think the Melee community, while loud and ever present and smelly, is actually in a numerical sense incredibly small. Like a raw worldwide numbers sense, very small. And they will never, ever, ever like sabotage the new Smash ever.
I'll see you and I'll raise you. I think I think a version, because they went back and they added multiplayer to GX as well, right?
They did. That was a big deal. I
bet you Melee with upgraded multiplayer exists inside Nintendo's offices and they went no. I bet you that project exists in a folder somewhere on a build. I bet you someone worked on it at some point. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see how that comes along.
I think if Nintendo could go to your house and snap your Melee disc, they would. Like genuinely.
They said there's 2 USB-C ports, top and bottom, and then they showed the dock.
Dude, that's like such a no big deal feature. It is so awesome.
It's really nice.
So awesome.
It's really nice to not have to choose between, power and accessory and a camera now, I guess, but that's why.
But also, you don't have to argue with the designer post buying the thing of like, oh, I wish the port was on the top. Man, I wish the port was on the bottom. Depending on where you're sitting and where your plug is, and
Did we see an Ethernet cable?
It's part of the dock.
Great. We're not going.
Ethernet cable is part of the dock.
Wonderful. Cool. Yeah. Okay. No complaints.
And there's an audio jack in the controller.
Oh. Sick. Is it a headphone jack or is it a...
Yes, it's a headphone jack.
16.
I don't know what
okay, because
it's a headphone jack.
Because there's the tiny one and then there's a standard size and like
Yeah, it's a standard size.
Okay, sick. Great.
And the Pro Controller comes with extra buttons on the back that you can map to anything in any game.
Turn
and that's crazy.
Shit off. Immediately turning off those paddles. I hate paddles.
Why?
I can't... Because
Woolie?
No. I fat hand grip.
Okay.
I can't.
No. Hold on. I want to ask you a legitimate question.
Yep.
And I don't want you to roll your eyes because it's not something that you usually do.
Yeah, that's okay.
When you are playing Call of Duty and you want to reload and jump without pulling your thumb off the analog stick and you don't have paddles, what do?
Understood. Okay, they're not for me. I hate them.
That is the reason for those.
Got it. Every game I've played ever, I always hate them. I need them off the controller. I accidentally hit them too often, and I've played with them when they first came out on the Elite Xbox 360 controller or whatever, the black one. And then that shit was terrible. And then I got them again. They're on the PS5 DualSense special, and they're just the worst. And I take them off because I always hit them accidentally. And
so that
if you guys are out there and you're like, you don't grip it as hard, and that's not an issue for you, that's awesome. I wish I had your hands, but for me, it's just it's a non-starter.
You gotta be delicate, man.
It's a non-starter. I cannot play a video game with the paddles on the back like that. So
like that is a design element that was created for a genre, and it just happens to be the most popular genre.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite, Call of Duty.
Fortunately,
Destiny.
on both the 360 Elite or Xbox Elite and DualSense, whatever.
Yeah, you can actually just pull them off.
They come right off, so it's never been an issue. I've taken them off, put them away, and it's not a problem whatsoever. But it's like not even when I'm not death gripping, because I know that sometimes I do when in a stressful thing or whatever, that's just the way I respond to things. If I'm stimulus is happening, even if I take a moment to actively be like, hold it lightly, my hands are still resting in such a way where it's feeling secure. It's accidentally triggering sometimes. My fingers just do, people's hands are different, man. It just doesn't work for me.
So this, I'm holding a PlayStation 5 controller in my hand. This is my favorite controller ever. No question. Absolutely no question. I love this fucking thing. The Hall effect sensors on the Pro controller for the analog sticks and these back buttons, I might switch to Nintendo Switch 2 controllers for everything on my PC.
Oh, for Bluetooth connection purposes.
Because I want those things, and I've been playing Pro controller with Monster Hunter GU lately, and that Pro controller, the Nintendo one, is solid. It is a solid game.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty used to the DualSense as my standard right now. I'll have to see how this feels before switching it up. I also hate them on the back of the Steam Deck as well. And in fact, whenever I can, I like using the Steam Deck with a controller in the USB. I much prefer a better controller than using the default side stuff. Those don't feel as good to me.